a day after the union walked out of talks because of a proposal that would cut employer contributions to health care. Right now, that's not part of my therapy.
Hi, I'm Robin Swycord, writer-director.
I'm Hugh Dancy, actor.
Maggie Grace, actor.
Marianne Brandon, film editor.
Julie Lynn, producer. Robin, are you going to point out where you can see all the production people in the opening scene?
Yeah, I think I will. First, I'll talk about this montage. At the script level, I only put about 10 examples of the things that drive us crazy. And then I put up a sheet for people to write down the things that drove them crazy. And we kept getting more and more stuff on that sheet until we had several pages of things that drove people crazy. Then we selected from that.
Then she asked us all to go out and shoot it and star in it.
Yeah, that's right. So you're going to see Marianne Brandon, I think, through here. You're going to see Julie Lynn.
Oh, we are?
She's coming up.
Was that Julie there? No.
No. She's coming up. There she is, see her with the glasses.
God.
There
And
she
there's
is.
Robin.
I'm in the blue
Robin.
shirt. That's me looking at
I've
There's
seen this
Tom.
movie so many
That was my
times and obviously
assistant.
haven't been paying attention.
Did any of these
That's our
people get paid?
PA, office PA.
That's my neighbor.
Oh.
My baby was even in at the very beginning in that little yellow phone.
Oh, that's right.
That's my underwear.
Actually, it's my underwear, but I lent it to Hugh.
Yeah, we almost had to practically steal this shot. That's my daughter and a gentleman who works at Sony.
Oh, that was Maya?
That was Maya. Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is Kathy Baker. She's a member of the cast.
Did someone write down getting clocked
That's
in the
my
head at
cousin
yoga?
Carol.
Oh my God.
This is like a photo album at Christmas.
That's right.
Here's our
very
UPM,
personal.
This is our
Jonathan
UPM,
McCoy.
Jonathan McCoy.
Exactly.
So these are the bits I remember in the script. The stuff that was specific to the characters.
Right, because we had to put that on the schedule.
Yeah.
I think about 5 shots were actually shot during
These are
production.
all people. This is our post supervisor, John Portnoy.
That's an actor who actually is
Who's
paid
that
to do
girl?
that.
She needs to take a shower.
My favorite thing is the no grace period here for Maggie Grace.
Yeah.
That was a happy coincidence. We had almost no art department that day. That's my daughter's hand again.
Right. The guy with the pizzas was Martin, who is our production secretary, too.
Yeah. And this is a friend of one of my daughters who's an emerging young actor, very good at physical comedy. I watched him all through high school. Alec Owen.
Also, I want to say that this song by Paolo Nutini is been playing on the radio, and now he's got another song, and he's a very young emerging songwriter, singer.
Are you saying he owes it all to us?
Yes, I think we discovered him, didn't we?
We owe him so big for that song.
You think? I like to look at it the other way.
Yeah. You know, the fun thing about trying to find Sacramento in Los Angeles is that we had to go to the fringes of Los Angeles County to find areas that weren't built up. So I got introduced to neighborhoods I had never seen, like this beautiful park.
I forget what the total. I had a new car during production, and the mileage I added up was impressive.
Insane. That's because she was driving herself. That's what happens on an under $6 million movie.
So I
But,
think
you
this was
know,
the
it
first day I
suggests trust
turned
in
up
your
on
actors.
set.
It's
Was
nice.
this funeral scene?
Oh, yeah?
I seem to remember this was when I was. Is that right? Was this near the big early in the
Yes,
shoot?
it
Yes.
was.
What's
So,
the first scene?
so this
That's
is
when
where
I was
you.
introduced to the book club, so to speak.
So you were
although I
coming
hadn't
for
appeared yet.
fittings or something that day?
Yeah, I must have been coming in for fittings.
Hugh had to join us late. We had all rehearsed and had our ensemble meetings and so forth, and Hugh was coming from another movie evening and sort of flew in and kind of joined the group late, which I think worked psychologically because he was sort of the newcomer to the group as well.
Constantly on the back foot.
I love that they
That's
killed
my
him off
signature
for
style.
us.
Yeah. So this is Maria's house, so to speak, or her character's house. No, is it? Yes.
Yes, that's
And
right.
what's the park or the area that this house sits in? Because it's got a funny story to it. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
this is Disney Ranch, and this is actually the house that people may remember from the television show Little House on the Prairie. This
It was
is the
so
house
weird
that
because I was
shot in.
skipping to lunch one day acting like I was 5, and I was like, I feel like I'm in Little House on the Prairie. And someone was like, well, you are.
You are.
That's so funny.
And it's just nestling on its own. But Disney have incredibly strict rules, right? You can't drive above 5 miles. We're breaking the rules already in the movie.
That's right, and no one could bring pets, and you couldn't have visitors and so forth.
And we were going to sneak off one day during lunch to look at the Pirates of the Caribbean set down the way, but
Yeah.
I think we were foiled.
Of course, the animals that we were working with, of course, here were allowed. We had I think we had 3 Ridgebacks that we worked with, and 2 were, quote, hero Ridgebacks. They were really well-behaved, well-trained dogs.
Although they're natural hunters, so the big fear was that they were going to go off and gather some of the
Right.
wildlife on the ranch.
Was the third like the rogue
Kill
Ridgeback?
Goofy.
So
Bambi, more
this
like
is
it.
where we get to meet these 2 wonderful actors, Emily Blunt and Kevin Zegers. A first glimpse here.
Ah, this bookstore is such a great bookstore.
Yeah, this is the Hennessy and Ingalls bookstore in Santa Monica, which is a mostly art and architecture bookstore. And they were so generous with us. We had about an hour and a half to set up and shoot
Wow.
and get out.
That
But
long?
we had been looking for a bookstore. This was in the run up to the holiday season.
Looking for a bookstore that could hold both these hairstyles.
Yeah, we were shooting this in I think in late November or early December, and everybody was decorated for Christmas, and they really didn't want a film crew in. And Hennessy and Ingalls made room for us.
We spent a
We're
lot
just
of money
really
there that
grinchy
day.
there and don't decorate for Christmas.
Right.
It's all art books, so everybody bought all their holiday presents there.
Yeah.
Right, that was the scene later on when Maria and I are in the bookstore. That was what happened to me. I just wanted to buy books.
Yeah. That place is amazing
Made it
when I
worth
get
that
there.
while. Where was this bar?
This bar was in Northridge, I believe. Or was that right, Julie? Northridge?
It's the same restaurant,
Lucas,
actually,
by
where
the
we
way?
film the Amy Brenneman, Jimmy Smits dinner scene
Marmalade?
that's coming up.
No, the exterior was Marmalade.
Oh, okay.
But this was the little sort of bar area. It looked very, very different because it was an elegant French restaurant. And our fantastic set decorator, Meg Everest, turned this into a sports bar. And so you walked into this elegant French restaurant, and over there is where we're going to shoot Amy and Jimmy, and over here is the sports bar.
Now, Mark Blucas is coming to join us in a few minutes. We'll be missing him right now because he can tell all of his Tim Duncan stories when he gets here.
Right.
You know,
He's got a
this is where
fantastic
we have
blooper.
to say that we did a fabulous blooper, which I believe is going to be on the DVD, and you have to go to that, which is it is Mark Blucas taking apart his friend Tim Duncan. They were in college together, they played ball together, and he played a trick.
Yeah, Mark, we found out later, even though Tim Duncan was already actually in the script, we found out later that he and Mark were actually very, very close friends, played ball at Wake Forest together.
He tried to use that as leverage in his audition. He says, "I can get you all the NBA gear that you need, to decorate with."
You've got to use whatever you can.
That's right.
I
Do
once
you
told
speak
somebody
French?
I could
Yes,
ski.
I do.
You told someone you could ski.
Well,
Do you
actually,
ride a
more
horse? Very
specifically,
well.
they said, "Can you ski?" And I said, "Well, not to Olympic level."
Boy, that gave you a lot of latitude.
Yeah, well, that's what
didn't
I figured. Yeah, I once heard a story about an actor who lied about being able to swim.
Oh, God.
That's good. That was smart.
Yeah,
Well, that says something about actors. We have less care for our life than
I
gotta
can't
get
swim,
that
but I can
role.
really empathize with swimming.
Yeah. Look at
this is such a
look
beautiful
at Jimmy
scene.
in this scene. He looks at her with so much love and regret. He feels it coming.
You get all that from mommy. I gotta tell you, it really made me
Yeah.
He is the nicest man, and every time I mention to a woman, let's say around my age or older, they all say, "Oh, Jimmy Smits, that's the day I'd like to come to set."
Yeah.
all of that over.
Yeah.
I love that pause that he has there.
As he's looking at her, it's so beautiful.
Inevitable that after a certain amount of time,
I think, didn't Amy insist that you'd put a love scene where she could kiss him finally?
I'm
She
not
refused
going
to
to
do-
tell those kind of tales. No, they had actually known each other peripherally in the film business for a while and been saying they wanted to do something together. And I think that's actually how I got Emmy Brenneman to come play the role. So Jimmy was already cast.
They're so lovely together and two wonderful actors.
Yeah. You know, for all of these things, this is what you get on an under $6 million movie. For all of these things, these actors really only had sometimes only 2 takes to deliver this kind of emotional performance. So like that gesture there, that's Jimmy's instinct, to just do that. They were really playing with each other. That little bump that she does, she knew where he was standing, but she bumped into him. So this is beautiful.
Can I ask about the colors or the filters or whatever? Because sitting here watching it now, it seems like each scene has quite a specific color to it.
Yeah, this one, one of the things we did looking for locations was looking at the light. If something was too beautiful very often I would just turn it down because I wanted it to look much like the life that we all get to live, not a kind of storybook film life.
We don't have a film crew and lighting gear following us around.
Exactly. And this was lit with fluorescent lights. We used the lighting that was in the garage, and we looked for a garage that had lights lined up in a certain way so that we could just capture the same place that we all park. So this was actually shot, we had one day at Union Station in Los Angeles, and we used a little area between two buildings and dressed it as a movie theater. Rusty Smith, who was a fantastic production designer, found that little film booth and brought that in. He painted it so it would look like the tiles that are on the outside of Union Square, and he mocked up all these posters and so forth. It's completely Union Station, where we also shot Sylvia walking into work, going through the security wand, and we'll also shoot the scene that comes after this one, which was a now closed restaurant, which our decorator and Rusty worked up to look like, you know, a working historic restaurant in a landmark train station.
Now the
How many of these things did they eat?
Oh my gosh. You know, Kathy Baker was begging me just to give her this whipped cream and not real ice cream because they did, you know, it was entirely dependent on her because she is the monologue here. So if she flubbed something, we would give her another take. And it was very hard as your mouth got sticky with whipped cream to not occasionally, you know, misplace a consonant. So it was definitely hard, and she kept having to stop and take sips of water in between.
I love watching actors eat.
Carlos is our cameo as well, is he
That's
not?
right. This is our location manager is the guy who adds more whipped cream to her.
Oh, really?
Her thing, yeah. He was actually a member of SAG, so I could give him a line.
You see that she's quite carefully not eating it.
Yeah, exactly. And when we had to go, you know, we were shooting in this scene with two cameras, so we were doing Emily at the same time as we were doing Kathy, and having to, you know, be careful to keep the other camera out of the sight lines.
So you had 3 cameras, in fact. You got 2 sides.
We
did 2 different
cameras.
We did 2 cameras on this because it was 2 people. When we did book club scenes, we always had 3. And every now and then we would use 3 cameras for 2 people if they were already set up. But in this case, we were covering Emily in 2 sizes and then Kathy Baker in 2 sizes. And then sometimes we would slave them together but opposite, so we were cutting together the same performance.
Which does not make it easy to take lines out or
That's right.
tighten a scene up.
Yeah, so that's the editor talking. Definitely hard. When things are slaved together, you can't just drop stuff.
On the other hand, it gives a flow to a scene. I mean, so often you're not allowed to overlap another actor that you're doing a scene with for the sake of sound, for the sake of cutting together. When it's not going to be an issue, you can be a bit freer.
Oh, you guys, Lucas crashed our session. Oh my God.
Okay.
He missed his big scene.
I know.
Lucas
He'll
is
have to
coming.
tell
Is
his
Lucas
story
here?
later.
He's here.
It looks like I had a really hard night the night before, but it's just not the case.
What about Amy's?
Yeah.
She did have a
This
hard
is the
night.
Heartbreak Hotel scene.
Oh, is that Amy?
Yeah.
No, that's Maria.
He's just being
That was
smart.
one of my favorite lines. I'm voting for the brain tumor.
Yeah.
That's what you call a good trailer moment.
There's the magic of movies where you have Amy Brenneman and Jimmy Smits as your parents, and then you end up with that hair.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
She irons it, okay? Now I love Amy in this scene. She was so up that day for this scene. I think she'd been thinking about it ever since she'd gotten cast. It was we shot this toward the end of the schedule as well. We were shooting all of Sylvia's house in the same week, of course, and it was the last week of shooting.
Yeah, I remember we kind of had to nip this scene really quickly.
Well, she was ready.
Did you have
But
that
timing-wise, I
Annie
think it
Hall
was quite
scene in
tight.
your mind when you wrote this at all?
Did I have what in my mind?
There's that scene is it from Annie Hall, the Woody Allen, one Woody Allen movie where he's complaining, they're trying to get him to eat, and at the very end, his last line is, "Pass the salt." I thought maybe, and then there's also that scene that he has in a movie, in a line at a movie theater. You remember when he goes and
That's Annie Hall for
That
sure.
is Annie Hall, yeah.
And then he brings out the director from behind the film poster.
He pulls out Marshall McLuhan or something.
that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I always watch Maggie and the Eggs in the scene.
Always,
because
and this one right here is a good one. It's
the
like
yolk
look right
goes
there.
right there.
Yeah, but I get
Keep
it
going.
out.
I'm gonna
Get it
scoop
out.
that out.
Look, got it.
This was two takes.
It's a character choice, Julie. Like she's very artistic
No.
with the way she sorts egg yolks.
This is 2 takes, 1 camera. So that's all they had. Whatever happened between them, what was happening. The only cutaway we had, Marianne Brendan, is that correct? Was the egg
Yes.
in the bowl. That was
Right,
it.
and you don't want to make the scene all about the eggs.
No,
That's
it already
right.
is all about
No,
And
because there's
so-
nothing but shell in that
And
bowl
so
anyway.
the fact that Maggie knew to save that egg yolk saved that take.
Well, Maggie's a real cooker.
Well, I can't explain how much I thought about should I sort the eggs like Meryl Streep in The Hours, like the professional chef way, where you do it with your fingers, or should I use the eggshell like I was taught?
What was the metaphor for the divorcing parents, I believe?
oh, look, Hugh
separation.
Dancy. Look who
So
showed
that's
up.
Messy Stench.
That is Messy Stench
This
right
is
there.
Messy Stench. And I loved on the set that day, Maria said to her, when you have children and, later in life, are you still going to call yourself Messy Stench? And
That is really her
and
name.
She looked at Maria for a long time, and then she went, no.
Of course not.
I'll
I'm
be
sure-
Mrs. Stench.
Can you imagine showing up to first grade as Little Stench? I mean,
Yeah. All right, so how cute is Hugh in this scene?
Oh my gosh.
Can I comment?
I'm sorry.
I said that just to embarrass him.
Takes more than that.
Well, I'll keep working.
I've so accidentally done this blow off myself, like to completely, non-intentionally, like someone introduces you themselves and says their name, and you're just like,
Yeah, bye.
bye.
Yeah.
And
I
look,
love
she's
this
by
moment.
the
Forget to
time
say
I
your
by the
own
time
name.
I walk into the bar, she's drunk most of her martini.
Wow.
It's a small aspect of the
She's a
character, but
real woman.
important.
Maria's not here to defend herself.
Hugh, this beat with the candle's terrific.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just fantastic. I
so
love it.
good.
It was after this scene that I was speaking to a friend and I said, that Hugh Dancy, he can do anything. Intellectual comedy, physical comedy, drama. Because it really,
know.
who knew
And
you had
all-
it in you,
all
Hugh?
from a candle.
And I would have invited you over to sit with me on my side of the bar too. Look at that. Whoa, hey.
Well, I think
Yeah,
that's what did it.
That was a great thing when we sort of arrived at the set and we just had to look around and see what was on the bar already because it was a
Yeah.
working bar at the Hilton and say, all right, what can we use here that will show this character's awkwardness? And we had the mints. And we asked for a candle, and
That
we
was
asked
it,
for
yeah.
a candle to be in the same kind of glass as, as a regular drinking glass. And it all came just out of Hugh's inventiveness here.
But it was strange. It was pretty much the first scene that I shot, I think, or maybe the first one. Yeah, I think it was. And none of that was in the script, as you say. So it was sudden exposure.
He's like, it was
to...
all me. I just want to make that
that's
clear.
right.
It was all me. Robin did not write
No,
it.
really, that's not what I'm saying.
No, it was both of us together. We talked through like what's here and what can we do with this and
No,
what would you like
what
to
I mean is
try?
that it was terrifying.
Well, I think the fact that you drink a single shot of whiskey in the middle of the day
It's
is a
also
lot for
terrifying. That's why she comes round. to talk to me.
you. Exactly. He can't be all bad.
Because you couldn't walk.
No, it's kindred spirit.
No, to me, this is a scene where we really see the spark for the first time. And, as I said before, Hugh didn't get to rehearse until after he had shot some of his stuff because he came from another film. And this was a scene where the lucky thing of there actually being a kind of, I guess they call it chemistry or magnetism, actually, was present in the scene. And it was a great discovery for me. I felt so relieved after the scene.
I have 3 older sisters, so I like all women.
Good. That's great. Well, thanks. I'll be in touch.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. Oh, good. Prudy, you're
So here we are at Starbucks.
tables, okay? Oh, Jocelyn.
Also known as Hugh's beefcake scene.
Can we talk about Kathy Baker's
Also known
costumes?
as the Lycra
I know.
sequence.
I don't know how many actors could pull off costumes like that, but she looks
I know, how could you not be
absolutely
upstaged by
gorgeous.
the earrings? Like one, she has like various sea creatures.
Exactly. And an egg omelet jacket.
The sort of wearable art look. It was
Yeah.
great. It really helped. The thing about costumes for all of us is that we had to know immediately who people were as soon as we met them. And we had to look at, hair, makeup, and clothes to tell us a lot of that because no one had that much screen time on their own to sort of establish who they were. So I thought that our customer, Janetta Boone, did a very nice job of kind of separating and identifying people.
She did also, I'll never forget the day at her test when Kathy Baker cut off all her hair for our movie.
Yeah, that's
at her
right.
own instigation.
Yeah.
And also, I
That's
remember,
great.
Robin, you telling me that she only shopped for the clothing for them in stores that they would shop at.
Yes, because one of my pet peeves in movies is when the lowly assistant in the office in the film comes out and she's wearing Donna Karan and Prada heels, and you're just thinking, girl, I know you didn't buy those clothes yourself.
Oh,
My
I know,
jacket
that
in this
annoys
scene's
the
like
hell out of
20
me.
bucks.
I can't stand it there.
Yeah.
And as we'll see, Hugh
Donna
wore his
Karan.
own outfit in this scene too,
Show
straight
up
from
to
his
rehearsals
wardrobe.
in it. It was like, God, Hugh, you wash that thing?
He would
contractual
pull on the
thing.
long pants the second the scene was over. He'd be like, where are my long pants?
He likes spandex.
All right, I just want
I
you to
hear.
look at the sweater, though, that Amy Brenneman is wearing. Janetta and I called that the divorce sweater. It's the most depressing sweater I've ever seen. And what was funny was right after we wrapped this film, it was Christmas, and my daughters gave me that same sweater for Christmas.
They did. But in their defense, it was blue.
It was blue.
It wasn't drab gray.
But I looked at it and I went, oh my God, the divorce sweater. This is what you think of me?
By the
You're
way,
like, Nick, could you come in here, please?
you did show up in the cutting room wearing it, I have to say.
I wore it a few times. I love my daughters.
Can Kathy Baker knit?
Kathy Baker can knit, but I will tell you that the knitting in this film was done by my mother in Panama City Beach, Florida.
She made me a scarf.
And look at this decorated prop here. This is
Yeah.
Allegra's fantastic. Maggie Grace decorated
Yeah, we
it
needed
herself.
like close-up shots on that.
do.
All my favorite poetry and like notes to my brothers that we never see. There's two brothers that we don't care about. They're like somewhere off screen.
So
They're
this,
in college.
this
I know that. Keep
yeah,
out an extra
Diego
line
and
in there
Andy.
for it.
That's right.
Yeah,
So
they're
there-
in college.
This
We don't
this
care about
scene,
them.
This scene is the first scene in which we use 3 cameras all day,
Right.
all day, every day.
And thank you so much.
Yeah, but
And one of the great was this the first book club scene that we filmed? I guess
This
it must have been.
was.
So it was the first time we really had a chance to sit around for a good hour, maybe even 2 hours at the beginning of the day, and rehearse through the scene several times until you knew exactly how you were going to shoot it, and we knew exactly what we were doing as well.
that's right. We had to get the timing up because the thing about shooting with 3 cameras is that the scene has to run as if you're watching a play.
That's right. That's why I think it was so enjoyable to act in these scenes because you just don't see this kind of scene written for the movies very often with 6 characters, 6 fully realized characters all talking across each other and over each other and for 10 minutes or however long the scene is.
That's
Really
right.
rare.
I think the in page count it was more than 15 pages in the script, and it runs about 8.5 minutes on screen.
Thank you, Mr.
So
Altman.
that's how quickly the conversation was going. You usually allot, for one page of a script, you allot a minute of screen time. You can see how quickly people picked up their cues.
And I have to say, when I got the dailies, I had to leave and go home with a headache that day.
Yeah.
Because there were so many.
So many coverage for so many people.
Although
in
this
so
was the
many
one scene that I
sizes.
remember you had cut together, at least before we even finished the movie.
Because
There was
Robin kept calling me and saying, "You've got to show it on the set. They've got to see that it works."
I wanted there to be.
No pressure.
We had a tiny little break at Thanksgiving, and I wanted people as a kind of send off to go away to see one scene, so they would have some sense of how the stuff was playing. Because it's hard to tell.
How do you cut around that?
Yeah,
You just get right to it, Hugh.
Get
You
the
got
wide
right
angle
to
lens
it.
out and
I think
shoot away.
anyone watching should just rewind slightly and watch Kathy Baker's eyes, because it is her look at Hugh that cues this shot of him in his outfit.
And then watch Emily Blunt's reactions to him for the rest of the
Oh yeah,
Yes,
she's
yes, they're a lot of fun.
she is so funny in
Notice
this
no one
scene.
looks him in the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This prop was great because the prop person, C.J. McGuire, came to me at the beginning and said, "We can't afford to do this book. You're going to have to cut this. We just don't have it in our budget." And I said, "Look, just go get any book and that's big and put a cover on it." And so what was in that book? Hugh read it all the
complete
time.
works of Shakespeare.
The Arden Shakespeare.
Yeah, I didn't read all of them. I think I got through the histories and the tragedies.
That says something about the tight budget too. We can't afford a book, okay? You're gonna have to cut this.
There we go. Emily's
Can't do
looks.
it.
I know Emily's looks.
Emily's
Also,
little looks.
while we're on the clothing, I mean, talk about
Is this gonna be a girly commentary where all we talk
is.
about is clothes?
No, but seriously, this whole I love love France, but I can only afford to shop at the most affordable places. Janetta did a great job outfitting
Yeah.
her.
You know, she's
I love
everything
Prudy's
looked like it was
costumes.
bought at Forever 21, and yet it had
It's
you know,
French influence.
A prudishness to
a
it.
prudish, yeah.
So we just read them chronologically and.
I have to say, this was one of the most enjoyable scenes to cut because there was such a enormous amount of reactions to everybody's comment, and there was always something to cut to, and there's always somebody doing something interesting and funny.
Right. Everybody was fully in performance.
Yeah,
at
that's
all
what's called
times.
extreme competitiveness.
Exactly. And I held the key. Who do
No.
I like the most at this moment?
But the other thing, if we remember, is that this is where the ensemble really came together. It was the first time Hugh, other than in the rehearsal we had done, it was the first time Hugh had completed the group. And the ensemble really gelled. And all the actors, in fact, when we were there for, I think, 2 days, and on, I think it was the first day, the actors said, we're going to go to lunch by ourselves. And they went to, it was a strip mall, and they went to an Indian restaurant
You were
across
near
the
Artesia,
mall.
which is like
strip
mall.
Yes.
it was like
It's not a mall you strip
capital
in.
of Indian food.
We had a
in
great
California.
Indian
It was
restaurant. I
so
kept the
good.
leftovers in my trailer for about a week.
Oh, dear God.
Yes.
I'm sure they were still good. They were so spicy.
I had to regretfully let them go.
Right.
But it really did. It felt like a theater troupe. It was really lovely.
I remember
Right.
the first
Flashing
time
on
the
Kathy's
first time I
face.
saw the cut, Robin. It was this scene that really like jump started the movie to me. It's like setups are always so tough, and you're meeting all these people, and then all of a sudden when they
Right.
come together and the pace and the way it's cut together, like it's just a terrific first book club scene.
Yeah.
That's why we have an action editor.
That's right.
right,
That's
Marianne.
right. Marianne Brandon, with her fabulous action background, brought all that to us.
And I think, the other key to this scene was how well caffeinated we all were because of all the free Starbucks.
That's right.
We each had
we
like
had
6
so much
venti
coffee.
lattes.
So much coffee.
We were all like, zzz.
Well,
Okay, this is where Maggie really got to shine. Jumping or not jumping out of an airplane.
Well, this was the action scene.
This was
Yeah,
it.
I love the
So
way
this
this is
was a
shot.
mock-up. This is what's cool about this is sometimes we're in a mock-up, and here we are just like on a platform a few feet off the ground with fans blowing, mist in, and it looks like the plane is moving because the camera people are doing a great job of making us believe that. This is
Yeah.
stock footage that was shot by a hobby club of skydivers because we couldn't afford the insurance to actually put actors up in a plane. And
There
that's
she
stock
goes.
footage.
Gosh
We
darn it.
storyboarded it for these people who went out and shot it as amateurs wearing
Oh, really?
cameras on their helmets.
And it's great, by the way, in the world of the Jane Austen book club, you just ring a number on a lamppost and they throw you out of a plane on your own.
Well, it's
And then
suspension
this
of
was-
disbelief, Hugh. It's, maybe I've had some lessons. There could be a time cut here.
Right.
Maybe I've had the,
So-
strapped to an expert.
Or maybe they just
missed the
hate you.
day. Yeah, missed
So
the day
this
we had the
is-
landing lesson.
So this was a stunt person, and then from,
then
who
from
happened
here,
to
that's
be-
Maggie.
Then it was
So
a lot of me just running across the lawn and throwing myself.
throwing herself on
like
the
again and again
It,
and again.
it also happened to be a stunt person who was a man.
That's right.
So we had to do a bit.
Thanks,
of,
guys. Thanks
we,
a lot.
We did a
Yeah,
little.
I know I'm tall,
No,
but
We did a bit of
we did a bit of touching up there.
VFX, shaving and curving.
There's Robin's assistant Tom as the medical intern wrapping Maggie's.
And this is Parisa
charming.
Fitzhenley. This is her first movie role. And she had a background in modeling. She had done a couple of small parts in television, and she came into the audition room and just was immediately amazing.
She's great, yeah.
we just started making out in the audition, and Rome was like, "That's the one."
That's the one.
Right, Maggie Grace, that's
I
the
think
one.
there's chemistry.
No, but we did do some nice rehearsals in which you guys were kind of lying on top of each other, just getting
Oh,
used
yeah,
to the idea
body
of
contact exercises.
physicality, because of course I'm, two characters playing gay who are not actually gay. Now these little montages, these reading montages that appear all the way through it, about week 2 of the film shooting, I realized, I may need some connective tissue, and it's really weird that people are always talking about books, but we never see them reading. And so we just started working it into every time we were in a new location that we would get the actor reading in that spot. And we went through all 6 books, and then we just put it in the bank for Marianne Brandon to have later, and we ended up using all of that stuff.
It really makes
Except
a
for me, I
huge
did all mine
difference.
back to back.
Yeah, exactly, because you were reading in the same place
I'm reading
every
the
time.
same book.
Yeah, exactly. He just kept going to a different spot in the tome.
I remember at the end too. It was literally the last shot of the movie. We were like, "Okay, Maggie, change your shirt." Okay,
It was
that
the last shot
That
of
was
the
our
movie.
martini shot. Me like changing in front of the crew and like, "Okay, grab a different book." Okay.
We were out of time in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a great accidental moment in this scene coming up that
That's
was
right.
not planned.
So that's my former piano
Almost
teacher
running over his ex-wife.
playing the role of Pan.
There's another
Is that how you
sweater.
paid her for the piano lessons?
Exactly. I'll give you a
I
role.
can't. You can kiss Jimmy Smith.
That's exactly it.
That's worth 5 lessons, at least.
I'd say.
Do you think Jimmy would do that for the rest of us?
See,
I've been wanting to learn.
Was that the mistake?
that was one mistake. One mistake was that, of course, this is
That's,
not...
by the way, is my favorite line from this movie.
Which
You
one?
have this whole food.
You have this Whole Foods.
But here's the
Jimmy
other
was so
mistake.
genuinely
Here it is.
rattled that day.
Huh.
Yeah, we
That
didn't. We
was-
didn't
He
plan
nearly
that.
ran her down.
Really? That
Yeah.
was a accident.
He was.
from the gods.
Jimmy was genuinely rattled in that scene, and he forgot and he started to back up. But we said, "Oh, manna from the gods." One of the challenges in this film was that there are a couple of times where we have phone calls, which are usually death in a scene, unless it's the Bourne Identity and you're on the cell phone as you're driving 120 miles an hour and escaping police.
We were going to do that, weren't we?
Yeah, we were going to do that. But here, having these two people sort of almost in conversation as if they were in the same room, it was an editing thing to make it seem as though it was a real conversation. You'll see how Jocelyn's facing one way and Sylvia's facing the other.
We'll notice. Can you come early tomorrow?
Yeah.
So, Hugh, Dreamy Eyes, did they do the eyelash extensions, or is that all you? Was that
Eyelash
those
extensions?
fake
You don't have to answer
eyelashes, or
that.
those
Listen,
actually
I
yours?
volunteered. I demanded
All
to
right,
wear this hat.
Let's stop for a moment. Look at this hat on you.
It's true, I did. My only wardrobe request was that I get one of these hats.
Yeah.
And they laughed in my face, and lo and behold, 3 weeks later, it pitches up. By which
Yeah.
time I had deep regrets.
Is it left over from your ski movie?
No, exactly.
I actually wore this hat to that audition.
No, this was.
Took a long time to get that dog to nuzzle my crotch.
Oh, you know,
Is it like
And all sorts
cue
of
the peanut
treats.
butter?
I just want to tell you here that we thought a lot about putting that on the DVD. All
What,
the
you mean
shots.
me trying to balance bits of sausage in my flies?
There's a double meaning
That's
there.
a mental
I know,
picture I just
know.
didn't need.
I regretted
Thanks a
it as
lot.
soon as I'd said it.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Is there, by the way, a category under the name of
Quote
sexually
of the
altered
day.
bitch?
No, there is not on the. It's in the novel, but in real life there is no category like that.
The
So
magic
I,
of movies.
I used it from the novel, even though the trainers kept telling me not a real category.
No, they don't. They're not very flexible. Those
Oh,
trainers.
this is that day with the light.
Oh my gosh!
This is
This day,
that
okay,
day, dear
this was
God.
this was insane. All right, it took us 2 days to shoot the Starbucks scene, full on. This is the day we had 2 days at Disney Ranch, but we only had good light for 4 hours of each day. And so we could do the bit with the dog and the kennel. We could do, the funeral scene at the beginning. But in terms of the book club, we had essentially 8 hours to get this whole thing, and the light was always moving.
And you specifically wanted this sun going down.
We needed the
like
late
golden
afternoon
hour, yeah.
light. That's right.
The sun was literally dropping like a rock.
That's right.
And the bathrooms were very far away. And our first AD, Vincent Lascume, kept telling everyone, just don't drink any coffee at lunch.
Yeah, don't drink. And there was a point, really, toward the end of one day when several of the actors were coming to me and saying, I have to go to the bathroom. And I had to say, you're going to have to hold it. I was like the bad parent on a trip, You're just going to have to hold it.
Well,
because-
sucks for you, doesn't it?
Too bad for you. We're going to go again. It was one of the few times that I had to be a hard ass on the side.
Few times?
That's
That I had to be a hard ass, I said.
The other times you
The
just
other
wanted
times
to
I
be.
just wanted to be a hard
That's
ass.
a tough question for an actor. Do you want to, have this sour look on your face and be really uncomfortable, or do you want a close up?
Yeah.
Which do you want?
Well, that's exactly what it came down to for a couple of people was if you want your close-up, you were just going to have to, suffer.
And I wasn't
You'll
there,
see-
and I wasn't there, but I'm guessing every single one of those actors stuck around and say, I don't have to go so bad.
I incorporated that look of discomfort through this whole scene into my performance.
Notice how we all look really uncomfortable and we're hurrying our lines. That's
Exactly. Actually, these close-ups of Kathy Baker and Emily Blunt were done after it got dark.
Really dark.
And John Toon put up lights and made it look like the sun was shining. Thank God for John Toon.
Harriet's father is, and suddenly, ooh, she's lucky to get the farmer.
I think Jane was being ironic there. I think some readers might miss that.
Emma's.
Are you laughing at the movie?
I can't. I look at Emily Blunt and I just laugh now. After this experience with her, and we had so much fun both on and off camera when we were rolling or not. We just got along so famously.
She really couldn't be less like Prudy.
No, and I think I mentioned, Robin, like last night, Devil Wears Prada was on, and I watched an hour of it. And she couldn't come on screen. I don't care if she's bawling, and I'm sitting there laughing at the girl. She's just hysterical.
I love this part of the scene because we're feeling for Sylvia so much, and yet everything they do is funny. This little bump of the table and all these little looks, and so that the comic music starts, but we're definitely feeling sad for Sylvia.
I just love that the two people left are the most ill-suited to each other possible. And there's that great, really tense, sort of constipated look of like, what am I going to say to this person?
That's right.
Yeah.
You can see Hugh's Britishness here, I think.
Like,
Didn't you
needs to
guys
pee.
like riff on your Britishness? Wasn't that the day you were like pretending to smoke a pipe and going, oh?
That's true, yeah. The
British moment on the
character
board.
options available to a British actor.
All right, so what was nice about it when it finally got dark was that we could then go inside and shoot the rest of this. After a long day of shooting
That was
outside,
fun.
we go
was a
inside.
fun
People
scene
were
to shoot.
punch drunk in this scene.
Yeah, we couldn't stop giggling.
I know, having to repeat your business exactly.
And eat that many scones.
Yeah.
I will call you when I land in Dallas.
Okay. Mark, you're on. Have at it, baby.
I'm saying nothing. I was really trying to get a kiss there. It just didn't
I
work out.
know,
And
I
then,
love the near kiss.
I love Lynn Redray for coming in at the last second and giving me a hug.
Yeah, I love Lynn Redgrave for coming at the last second and agreeing to
Doing
be in
a
this
movie.
movie. Yeah. She got cast 2 days before we were set to shoot this scene. She was doing a play in town, a play she had written, a one-woman show. And I wrote her a desperate letter, which got dropped at the theater. And I just said,
I love what she does there with
"Please."
that cigarette packet.
I know. This is all Lynn. She's such a brilliant comedian.
She had a lot of fun too.
Yeah. She was never a stoner type. And she says, she talks about that, I think, somewhere, that she just said, well, I'll do this because one day I'll be able to use it in a film.
You mean get stoned?
Well, she had to go to a Grateful Dead concert and dress up like a person who went to Grateful Dead concerts because she was taking her kid. And she thought, I couldn't be further from myself right now, but I'll use it one day in a film. And she did. Here it is. I love that look where she's staring at that joint.
It's fantastic.
These days at airports are always interesting, even though they're such short sequences and short little moments. It's always like, okay, here comes the plane. One just landed. Now go. And action,
yeah.
go. Lines,
Yeah.
lines, lines. Okay, stop. We're going to pick it up right there. Okay, they just took off. Go, go, go. It's
Oh,
always
yeah.
breaking for sound because of these challenges.
That's right. And that stuff, very little of it actually ended up being looped later. We just were actually literally shooting in the breaks between airplane takeoff and landing.
So this was the first day I arrived on set. And actually, no, it's not this one because he's not in costume. The first day on set I arrived was when later on they're actually performing Brigadoon. And all I could see was Kevin Zeger's makeup.
Yes.
And I thought, oh my God, what have I signed up for?
That was the regular makeup for the
heavy,
film.
yeah.
You
It
never
momentarily
told me that.
crossed my mind. But now we see the real thing. Look at them in bloom.
I know. You know, one of the things in all the way through this film is every character gets to be shown in their place of refuge. And I thought that this was where Trey felt most himself, was backstage as, a student who enjoyed being involved in theater. We have Kathy Baker taking Prudy to where she feels comfortable, which is the ice cream eating scene. And we have Greg taking Jocelyn later to the bookstore. He tells a story about his childhood.
And she takes me to the dog pound.
Right. She takes you to the kennel where she's at home with her dog. So
Dean in the sports bar.
Dean in the sports bar, exactly. Every character has some place
Me
where
and
they feel
Corinne's
most at
bed,
home.
but they weren't PG-13 enough. It's a PG-13 movie.
One of the things I want to say about Kevin's performance here is he has a fantastic way with his body language,
Yeah.
which helps so much in cutting because it's, obviously just over the shoulder, close up. But every now and then I had an opportunity to cut wide because he would do something with his body that was so subtly provocative and said, focused on you, babe.
Yes, that's right. He actually he had that in the audition room. Emily Blunt came in and read with some of the people I was thinking about for the role of Trey. And what went on between them in terms of Kevin Zager's ability to make her feel uncomfortable. That was kind of his goal, was to make her feel uncomfortable and embarrassed. And she just kept blushing. And a lot of it is body language and shifting his shoulders forward so he's kind of crowding her personal space.
Had that in the audition. I mean, let's all be honest. Does he ever have a moment on set where he doesn't have it? Like, does he ever turn it
I
off?
felt invaded when I was talking to Zegers.
Does he ever stop?
You were just mad because he was kissing
Who were these
Emily.
guys, these dancers?
No, not at all.
The dancers, it was
He's
a
like, "How
local
you
group
doing?"
of high school students. We found them through extras casting, and they were actually a troupe of kids involved in theater and dance. And they came, and they had to be older than 18 in order to work hour-long days. So some of them were just out of high school, some still in high school.
Oh, watch my terrible pretense at typing.
Yeah.
in this scene.
Hugh sits down in this scene and says to me, "By the way, I don't actually know how to type." So it was like, well,
He lied
that's
at the
good
audition and
because
said he
I don't
did.
actually know what I'm doing either.
But
so.
I can ski, he said.
I can
So,
speak any language you want and ride horses very well.
Tracking down the license to that R2D2 phone ring was one of the more challenging things. We actually got that license, I think, about 2 hours before we mixed the sound
Was it
into
like
the movie.
$10 million?
Right.
No, they were
no,
very
no.
nice about it. It was just about tracking down who actually
Who controlled it?
controlled it.
That's
Was
right.
it John Williams?
No, it was
No,
not.
because it's a sound effect.
a
It
sound,
wasn't
yeah.
music. No, it was. I put it in the script. The people who were involved in putting together, the sound went and got that. I think it was Mary Ann. She pulled it off of the internet.
Right.
So
you can
it-
get anything on the internet, by the way.
That's right. But in terms of clearing it, it was, where our wonderful producer, Julie Lynn, had to go to our rescue and just keep hounding people.
This was, you had came one day on set. I think we were down at the beach and shooting the funeral scene, Robin, and you said, "Hey, I have some dailies for you and Emily to see." And the first thing we popped in was this scene of Hugh.
Look at that typing.
At the
Non-sci.
was at the computer, and I was just so impressed. It was the first time I really had an opportunity to see you act like this.
He's so
So
funny
good.
in this.
Yeah.
I know.
Just terrific.
This is well cut, too.
It is really well cut.
It is a lot of challenges as far as, we've got people sitting in a room talking about books, we've got phone calls, and we've got emails.
So this
I
was
love this
this
shot on
difficult.
Jimmy.
I
It's
do
great.
too.
nice. And again, this is a 3-shot. The camera is moving in. At first, we think it's about Sylvia, and then it ends up being about Daniel.
And the lawyer in this scene owned the house that Prudy and Dean live in, correct?
That's correct. This woman is a working actor, and we needed a location in the valley, and we found her because she was doing reconstruction on her house and was happy to let a film crew come in while they were sort of not fully living in the house. And I found out she was an actor, and I had her come and read, and she played the mediator.
Strong as its weakest partner. Daniel has always wanted to find his center by wobbling. This is a pretty
What's funny to me about the props in this scene is that Sylvia is the one in the Starbucks scene that says, "Let's not get into competitive cooking." And you see this
That's
food
right.
come by, you're going, wow.
All those books were fake.
That's
I
right.
know, I felt so betrayed.
That's true. I have a shot of Hugh balancing about 40 of these books on one hand.
No, those ones were real.
The dog was fake, and he was balancing the
The
dog.
dog actually made a lunge for the food during that shooting. We didn't use that take.
Is
This
that the rogue, non-trained Ridgeback?
This was fun. This was fun at the props level. The ice cream melting on the stove as the bacon is cooking and the smoke and
I like all the
all
little
of that.
pictures of Paris around the kitchen. So
Yeah.
sad.
So this scene is shot in a slightly different way that's much more subjective so that we feel Prudy looking at her mother like, "You're a monster." And it's one of the few places where we sort of move into a different style in terms of the shooting.
When she comes around the corner there for the first time, have you got Lynn looking straight into the camera?
She looks straight into the camera. That's what I mean. We have a sense of being really in the subjective Prudy head of, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that this woman is my mother."
It's a great look. Marcel Marceau.
Yeah.
Didn't we have one take on this little bit?
Oh yeah, we had 2 cameras, but essentially one take on this side. On this side,
Because this
And
was
then-
hard to.
This was very
clip
hard to
stuff out.
cut together. And we actually went back and got that later, that close up. Maggie, could you please come into the office? We still have that shirt and we need to get a close
Oh,
up.
that's right.
Oh, that wasn't the guy that did the
Yeah, I
stunt
got a
for
phone
the-
call like, Maggie,
That
do you
wasn't a
still
stunt double.
own
That
a
wasn't a stunt.
turquoise bra?
I know. Do you still own that turquoise bra?
I
'Cause
literally
we-
have that voicemail. We need a silk turquoise bra. I think that was yours. Can you bring it in?
Yeah.
Your sister isn't Kat Harris.
You know her?
Bernadette knows. I met her through my doctor friend in Laguna Niguel, Bianca Silman.
You know my sister, Bianca?
I forgot that Bianca and Kat are sisters. Those are
We're getting lost in watching this. Kathy
We
Baker's
are,
so
yeah.
good. We just like getting lost. She's so real.
The line most said during production on set, our world is an English village.
Yeah, we said that all the time. It's true.
I never said it.
I
Yeah.
did.
Because it is.
Because it is
you
for
grew up in
you.
an English village.
I think I
We didn't.
remember you making fun of that line on set here.
Oh, let us have our Anglophilia. Anglophilia?
So I love Kathy's knitting in this scene here because she's having to match all of her actions and it's tough.
Don't give away too much because I haven't read that one yet.
You don't know Pride and Prejudice?
No.
You don't know Pride and Prejudice? Loser.
Oh, how about Maggie's cast? We had to keep track constantly because we were not shooting in sequence about whether or not Maggie's arm was still broken.
And y'all should have seen what I wrote on it.
So do we tell the
So you don't see Sylvia very often without a glass of wine.
Okay.
do we
That's
tell the
right.
Star Wars
Yes,
gaff?
I
or-
think we do tell the Star
Go.
Wars gaff here.
Really? 'Cause
So yeah, I mean we're risking getting bad mail, but the scene, the moment that's coming up where Greg tells his version of this book and refers to Star Wars, I had gotten this. I had gotten the story wrong. I had asked my daughter, in which one of these Star Wars movies does such and such occur? And I got bad information, and I never went back and checked it. And other people on the set were sci-fi fans and Star Wars fans, and they knew it was wrong, and they didn't correct it. It didn't get corrected until we did ADR. But you'll see the line thrown in Jedi, and that saved us from actually getting it wrong and getting bad Star Wars mail.
Does that mean the line doesn't match the mouth?
No, it matches.
no,
We did
it's
it
off
off
camera.
camera.
We did it off camera.
And there ain't no bad fan mail like bad Star
No,
Wars
the more,
fan mail.
you know what? The more Star Wars you can mention, the better.
But
I always say.
don't get your details
I
wrong.
love,
You're gonna get
I
10
love watch Hugh
million.
here. No, watch Hugh here. He is so funny. You see him deciding not to say that one.
They seem like brother and sister, right? But then in the end, it's like the Empire.
He's like,
Strikes
wait
Back,
for it, wait
but
for
it's
it.
reversed. You know, because in Jedi,
That's the ADR line.
There you go.
he gets over.
I still own that watch, by the way.
Yeah, the calculator watch.
Yeah, love
That
it.
is so cool,
Oh,
isn't
I
it?
love that one.
It's geek chic.
Yeah, I think it was when my assistant Julian tapped me on the shoulder and said, Marianne,
It was.
really,
You know,
it
it's
wasn't
like,
Jedi.
It's like that was week 8 of 10 weeks of editing before he brought that
It
up.
was week 8. It was very sad.
You know, Allegra's gay, right?
So once again, late at night, 2 takes. Got to be funny and get out of here.
Last shot of the
planes.
movie for me.
What'd you say?
I said this was the last shot of the movie. I remember it.
Oh, we were sad to see you go.
I think I was trying to make a plane.
Yeah, I bet you were. So, but I know this. I love this horrible awkwardness of this. Oh.
I'm kind of staring at my titties.
Which the dog does right there.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah,
the
it's
dog,
great.
by the way.
The dog's like, really? Why? Not that great. Why?
I like this.
Where were you guys here?
We were in a sofa shop, weren't we?
We were in a. The only way we could make any of these days is if locations that were not the same place were across the street from each other. So this was literally across the street from the bookstore where you go to take her
This had to
shopping
be
later.
Hugh's first day of shooting because your hair is really short, and by the end, your hair grows really quickly.
Is that right, Hugh? Was this your first day of work here?
Yes, that is actually right.
You showed up in that T-shirt, is what I remember. And we went, okay, keep the T-shirt.
Yeah, called the t-shirt.
May I?
Yeah.
Well, yellow's a good color on you.
Well, it also was sort
Cheery.
of, you know, it's a fancy place, and he wasn't dressed to the fanciness of the room. So it's another clue for you thinking, this guy doesn't know what he's doing.
That was such a nice first date litmus test, too. Can I eat your food off your plate?
Yeah, see, I...
And have you got any money?
That's what a good first date is for you, Nancy.
I'm around Saturday
See,
night
I
too,
always,
if you want to get
I always
together.
understood him as a character who felt comfortable in his own skin and could show up
Completely.
anywhere
He
being
was
himself.
That's right. He was himself everywhere he went, and that was what I think Hugh was so good at doing. Was that he just kept being himself.
Well, I think you feel that, and I think in the end, it all adds up to him, his character being appealing and loving, you know, lovable, and why
Exactly.
he's so successful at that.
This was also the day the novelist Karen Joy Fowler showed up to observe.
That's right. She came and watched. Her father had been a film editor, but she had not actually spent time as a child on many movie sets.
Ah, this bookstore.
So, yeah.
Because we don't like to show up to the movie set because no one knows us and we know everyone really
Right,
well.
and then when we find out who you are, we desperately try and make friends with you.
And, you know,
I love
can,
that.
I
Look at
can be
that.
bribed.
Yeah, what a store.
This is a real store. It's called Acres of Books. And when we were shooting there, we found out that they were in the process of losing their lease.
Oh, God.
And it was hard to imagine where they would find another place that had that same
Acreage?
well, acreage, but also just that same feel that, oh, you know, this is where true book lovers go to find the lost book that they've been trying to replace, because it's all used books.
I love used bookstores. There's that smell.
Yeah,
So
this place
wonderful.
had a cat too. I carried a camera on set all the time, which is why we have the pictures at the end of the crew. But I took so many pictures of this cat curled up on top of these stacks of books.
We also shot
I
about
love
6
this
different scenes on this one day.
Yes, we did.
a
This
crazy
we were
day.
running like crazy this day. But I love this scene. You can see Jocelyn starting to fall in love with Greg, and she's not aware of it yet.
I was a slog at remembering all these names.
I know, that was tough. And
Luckily, they were all
and
called Alice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Also, the props people, you know, we had to set up a science fiction section where it would work for our blocking, and they were constantly resetting books and having to keep track of which books were ours and which books were theirs because, of course, they all looked alike. They were all dinged up old books.
The look of predatory.
I'll read the Le Guin.
Yeah, that was a real moment for Maria. She did not mean to have a frog in her throat, but
Oh,
it was there.
really?
Yeah,
Oh.
you know, she really felt that moment.
We made that yoga studio in the corner of the furniture shop.
That's right. That
I
was
love
one.
her shoes.
I love the impromptu.
I know. I'll
Look at those
get you-
shoes.
Okay, Maggie, you're on. Talk about this
Oh, God.
hellacious night.
Okay, well, this was the last shot of a very long, very crazy, arduous day, and we had one take, and we
One
had a
and a
big
half.
issue. Yeah, 1.5. We had a big issue with the drainage on the tub. It wouldn't. It was very, very loud, and we couldn't seem to make it stop, and
The
it was
tub was
killing
leaking.
the sound.
Well,
and
the
I
tub was
thinking-
constantly emptying.
I was
The tub,
thinking,
yeah, the
"Dear
tub was
God."
emptying. You know, the stopper was in. We had never tested it with water. We should have, but who knew we had to?
It was, yeah. I was thinking the whole time during this take, like, dear God, I'm going to have to ADR a 3-page monologue.
Yeah.
Like, I've done my share of ADR.
Right. And she
But,
was
wow,
thinking,
this
in a
was
minute I'm
gonna
going to be
be-
lying in an empty tub.
That's right.
Hopefully the bubble.
You actually see her slightly creeping down during the scene to try to keep the, you know, she's not actually naked. She has like binding across her
Oh,
body.
don't
And you
say
see her slipping down, trying to hide as the water level went down.
And while all this is going on, there are police outside on the
It was like
street
everything
waiting
that
to
could go
close
wrong.
up
They
the
were
set.
shutting us
wrong.
down. The police were saying, you have to get out of here now. You know, you're exceeding your permit and so forth. Julie's like lying down in front of the police car trying to get them to let us have it in just another 3 minutes. And of course, this thing was lit mostly
Yeah,
with
lighting
candles.
issues. We had every issue possible: sound, lighting, police.
Exactly. And we were shooting in a bathroom that was so tiny. We have this one camera and people wedged in together
It was
holding
the end
mics.
of the day, so nobody brought deodorant.
I also
and
love
it's
about this
really-
that you don't
it's
really
really
see it
guerrilla
because
filmmaking at its best.
most of the scene is shot straight, with this shot, quite rightly, but and it's very intimate, it's very loving. But actually, if I'm right, what's going on is that Maggie, you're shaving her legs. Is that right?
Part of the time. Yeah.
Well,
At the beginning.
I would be in the bath, but I can't because I have a cast on, and you can't get that wet.
But didn't we get some note at some
There you
point?
go.
She was shaving.
She was
legs
shaving in the wrong direction. That was why we only
No,
cut to that
really?
shot one
It's like,
time.
okay.
Yes.
Some people shave up, some people shave
Oh
down.
my God.
Who shaves down?
I'm only
That
up.
is really an airhead move on my part.
Nobody
Wow.
shaves
Well,
down.
the hair
I
on
was
my
probably
legs actually
thinking
grows
one
up.
take,
Maggie,
one take.
Maggie, airhead move, honey. Look, you had 3 pages of dialogue to do in 1 hour to get the whole thing done. I mean, it was amazing what you did with the scene.
And she had to be the resident Austen scholar to supplement you as the only person, Robin.
Yeah, Maggie was our resident Austen scholar.
We kept being worried that Amy was going to flash
Another
everybody
great
here.
Jimmy Smith scene.
Oh, he's
Well, and
so,
Amy Brenneman. Don't
He's
you?
so
I
good.
love
Let's
this scene.
let's have a moment of
I got to
appreciation
sit in on
for
these
Jimmy here.
rehearsals,
Yeah.
and that was cool.
And the airplanes in this scene were insane. It was morning commuter airplane rush hour.
Yeah, we were between 2 airports in the valley.
Who knew?
Yeah.
What if I had somebody staying over?
And we had Corinne's apartment, which we don't see those scenes,
Right.
but that was built in the garage, wasn't it?
That's right. There's a little apartment
It
in
was
this in the garage at this place, and that was Corinne's apartment, which made it possible. We had time to shoot the Corinne stuff because it was on the grounds. We couldn't have done it if we'd had to move company to another place.
They're ashamed of their father.
I love the arc of this story because you start to see Jimmy turn back when we're in the courthouse and they're sort of dissipating.
You see his regret.
You do. You start to see it
That's
back down in the
right.
courthouse and you see it just building and building and building.
I love this whole storyline because I think it's become kind of a signifier in movies that when someone is unfaithful, then that becomes the reason that the rest of the movie can then follow that this couple must break up. As if, infidelity couldn't occur in a long-term marriage and then somehow be worked through. And I love the maturity of the story.
This one's very provocative, though, as far as people that I've seen the movie with. People feel very strongly one way or the other about the way the storyline ends.
Right.
I love that storyline. I think it feels really real and hopeful and like they're just such good people trying to figure it out.
I love this little smile as she's reading her finger at me.
I studied that in school. Yeah. The Gothic one.
Okay, so this is the scene that we had to shoot. We were shooting. The DP said, if we're going to do the wides later, we should go to those later because the light will be different, and we will not have time to relight. So you should start with close-ups. And because we had done this in the audition room, because this had been well rehearsed, the actors said, yeah, we'll do that. Let's do close-ups first. But they got so great as they went along that I actually said, we're going to do close-ups again. And we moved lights, and people were grumbling behind my back and going, no, no, no. But they really got so cooking that I really wanted to come back and get them again. And that was one of the hard newbie director decisions, was to kind of go against the DP's inclination, because I felt that at the performance level, something more was starting to happen that we hadn't gotten in our first go-around. So you don't ever get to see those first close-ups. We didn't use any of them.
Right, when you're moving as fast as we were moving, that's a pretty bold decision.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually sent out a little note saying, the next day, I apologize for making us go backwards. We won't do a lot of that. I wanted to reassure them because this was still pretty early in our shooting.
It was the right thing to do, though. And actually, this note is great. Robin did a note at the end of every week to the entire crew, thanking them very specifically for all the things that everyone had pulled together to get done in that week. It was really lovely, and the crew really loved it.
And I think also that balance, your actors trust you. You want to be able to look at your director and say, do we need another close-up? And believe that they're not going to just say, no, we're good, moving on. You know? You have to trust that yes or no. Okay. And that, that's testament to it.
Well, that's good. Look, you can see what's on. You can see the thoughts go across Kevin's head.
Well, through his head, let's go.
Yeah. You can just see it. You can see what he's thinking.
What's he thinking, Robin?
You know what he's thinking.
I have no idea.
You really should come on to me.
Why? Because you're a teacher?
I love the score in this section, too. You can hear the question in the music.
It's beautiful.
Aaron Zigman's such a good composer.
Yes, he is. And I love at times how it almost feels like, that the kind of slowly, gradually, kind of playful, climbing kind of... my favorite Jane Austen adaptations have the same kind of echoes those scores a little bit in places.
That's right.
Let's not and just wish we did.
And the day that we were shooting this, we had to shoot at the school on weekends, of course. They forgot to tell us that they were having a pee-wee football match 50 feet away from where we were shooting. So that the sound you hear in the background is their football game.
They're probably turning around going, ew, ew.
It's another very particular costume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw this, I went involuntarily,
That's quite a dress.
her husband's there, oh my God.
I know. So the question in the editing room was, does he see
Right.
the student in the car or not?
I remember having that specific conversation that day. It's like, hey, this is a really brief moment. Do you want me to register that I even noticed them in the car?
We-
Like,
we
what do you want
yeah.
the audience takeaway to be?
We did it both ways because
Right.
that was one of those questions that I literally could not answer on the set. I did not know until we got in the editing room
Well, I think we
how
had
much
it a
he would
long
know.
time.
That
We
he saw him. And then we did,
changed
and
it.
then we took it away. Yeah. This was another two-take wonder outside here.
He might surprise you. I hope his couch has arrived.
Remember how cold it was up there?
It was freezing, man. Yeah. Maggie,
Looks like Maria's borrowed one of Kathy's scarves.
yeah.
Well, it was true. The weather throughout the movie, I think, kept surprising us. We kept
It was
adding
freezing.
clothes to our costume.
This was in the Santa Clarita Mountains, up in a new development. But fortunately, we were shooting this right after actual Halloween, and the prop guy had all these friends who work in props, and he just got all of their Halloween stuff, and we just did the house up with the best of the props people of LA.
It's true. We had a really good effects guy that came in for the 2 days as well, who had some stuff, and they had a great time setting it up.
Yeah, they
We had a
did.
great time playing with it, too.
God, this was the
It's a fun
scene
day.
that where you can hear in the actual soundtrack me laughing constantly during it.
Pretty? Oh, hi, Dean. Is Pretty running late?
What do you do on Halloween?
Halloween is big. Halloween is much, much bigger. You should come over for Halloween.
Are you flirting with my mother?
I flirt with everybody.
You should totally come over for Halloween.
It's his
And
stock
actually,
and
no,
trade.
Greg doesn't flirt.
He doesn't. He's just
I mean, he's not.
himself.
He does and he can a bit, but no, he's just being Greg.
He's
Look at you drinking your Alco Pop there.
He's comfortable with women.
We were obsessed with people drinking alcohol in this movie.
It's the subtext.
I love the robots all over his house. That was my favorite. I mean,
Me
it was
too.
just great.
Meg Everest pulled that stuff together. It really added to his room.
It really did. Every time they...
Here we are
cut.
back at the Long Beach airport with the airplanes.
Thought Northanger Abbey was the final book.
Written first, published last.
How hot does Amy Brenneman look?
She looks good. Yeah, this is the new me. This is where she showed up with her new look, and everybody was like, wow, what happened to your hair?
Where's that sweater?
Yeah, exactly. Where's the divorce sweater? We got cleavage. This is an editing thing. It's all in performance, obviously, but Marianne Brandon cutting this for us to see the jealousy was so nice.
She got into her car yesterday. This was in San Diego. She made a left coming out of a parking lot into oncoming traffic.
Were Pretty and her mom close?
Well, there was
Again, this is
tension.
a three-camera scene.
Right. Yeah, it was hard to keep, because Maria's the pivot in this scene, so she's looking one way at Kathy Baker and the other way at the other gang.
Do you mean,
so to
do you mean
keep
pivot in terms of eye lines?
eye lines, yeah.
Eye lines.
So it really got complicated
Exactly.
to keep her looking this
And
correct
also
way.
the scene was about a lot of things, but the takeaway from the scene is Jocelyn is jealous, and she's not aware that she's falling for this guy.
Right. And there's sort of crisscross looks, because when Jocelyn looks at Greg, he's looking away, so he doesn't notice her
That's
looking
right.
at him, and
And things clue us in, for instance, the camera movement that kind of glides in on her, but it is definitely a cutting.
And
It's
also
an
these
engineering feat.
layers all the way through that Kathy Baker
Notices.
Bernadette sees them and notices them at every stage of their
That's right.
relationship.
But we also feel her longing when for romance, I think, in that scene, maybe keenly for the first time. She states it earlier, but we feel it more there.
But I love how non-judgmental she always is. She's always this, she's the observer, but she's so nurturing. Like, all those looks are so loving.
Where was this? Down towards Malibu?
When we shot the book
Long
club
Beach.
scene at the end, it was Palos Verdes area. When we shot the book club scene that takes place on the beach at the end, we had to run up before the sun went down and move everybody up to get that funeral thing.
I remember, Robin, you kept telling me, it's like, go ahead and get closer to a chest and go ahead and look down at it for one take. Like, you wanted some options in the editing room because obviously we're watching this from Pootie's point
I
of
will
view.
give you those options.
Oh, gosh, the things we have to do here.
No, the funny thing was that she was a very sweet young lady who came to do that, and she was amply built, but we still asked her to put those out plants inside her bra so that it would be really selling the
Out plants.
chest.
I've never heard them called out plants. How
Yeah.
clever.
It's never clear in this scene whether Emily says those plastic boots or those plastic boobs.
Right.
Boobs.
It's
Well,
whatever-
I think Boots was the airline version that we did.
Right.
Which is
Oh.
funny. No, this scene was so good. in
Yes,
the-
so good.
It was so good in the
Go Blucas,
and just
go
in the
Blucas.
in the audition. They improv'd into the scene, and they tore my heart out. I really thought they were going to hurt each other with their words.
I'm
in
still
that
scarred
scene.
from,
Yeah.
from what Emily said to me.
Well, this is the scene where Dean, you realize how much is going on and how much he cares about her and how really connected he is, even though he's been set up to be disconnected.
That's right. He is connected, and you feel like, oh my gosh, he's kind of married to a crazy girl.
This is
know?
my
He
favorite Emily
realizes
Blunt
it.
scene too. I love her in
She's
this
great.
scene.
High school is never
That
It's a great
line.
line.
Oh
It's a
my
great
God, I
know.
love that
But
line.
it is over for Dean. You know, he's more of an adult than she is.
But we live in Los Angeles, so it's never over for us. Still high school.
This was a happy accident. We were just filming this, and we knew we had to do both Allegra and Sylvia reading Pride and Prejudice. And Maggie just got up on the bed next to Emily, and we said, okay, next to Amy.
There's Kathy Baker's son in the background.
Oh, is that Kathy's son? Yeah.
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 So what do you think it meant that Greg was asleep reading Pride and Prejudice? Not his favorite, Austen?
Well, I liked that for contrast because
I was just desperate exactly to offer up different options. You know, for Mark, options involved looking down a cleavage. For me, it was snoozing on an
Spill the coffee here, drink the candle wax here, or sleep on the book.
Mark still gets exercise whenever Kevin Zegers walks into the room. Mark still, you can see his blood pressure rise.
That's
about
right. He
10
never.
points.
Okay.
He actually is a little competitive.
For those
with
of you
Kevin.
listening to the DVD, this is Mark Lucas speaking. We like to have a little comment. From day one, this was the hair and makeup test. When it was one of the few times the whole cast was all together at once. We walk into this house in the valley, and there are like 10 hair and makeup stations. And I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this movie we're getting ready to start. And from that day, our esteemed director and my co-star, Emily Blunt, wife in the movie, immediately pitted Kevin Zegers and myself against one another, constantly trying to like stir the pot and trying to get a little cat fight going between the two of us.
That
And
is such a lie. It happened. It happened in rehearsal.
Oh, look at
I can
Jimmy
see
here.
her nose growing from
look
here.
Look at Jimmy
with the
here
lies.
watching these two guys.
It
It's so
happened
great.
in rehearsal when Mark Lucas would check on how it went with the rehearsal the day before or the afternoon before.
I would
with
just check in.
Kevin
I'm like,
Zegers.
Emily, how was your rehearsal with Kevin? Did he touch you inappropriately? Do you need me to do anything about it? And what is jealous about that?
Okay, I love this scene. There was more to it, and we cut part of it, the fight, because there was a fight that ensued after the woman with the blonde hair
Mindy
left the
Christ.
room. What's her name? Sorry?
Mindy Christ.
Sorry. There was a fight that happened after Mindy Chris left the room, and we decided just to cut it and get right to the issue here, which is the betrayal.
That's because I'm an action editor,
Yeah.
and I only cut the action in.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Right.
But we didn't need it. You know,
We didn't need
we
it.
have the takeaway. We know what it is. You know?
We know what it is. We just got right down to it.
Who reads this?
The person who reads this is a wonderful young actor named Graham Norris, who I saw in a production at Yale University, and he was friends with my daughter. And he came and he actually did one on camera, and we ended up just using his voice, and I know that probably
This is-
broke his heart.
My favorite shot of Hugh right there.
Well, you get through a gauze.
Exactly.
Not the
Where
lycra scene,
we
really?
can't see you closely.
Right, he's out of the
biker
spandex.
shorts?
It's actually it's because it shows that peak of that a peek at that little strength, that strong core that we're about to see in the scene where they walk down the street together at night, which is that he is always who he says he is. He's always very much genuine and in the moment. But don't mistake that
Right.
for lack of determination.
He's
Don't
like
mistake-
knightly.
He's just
He's
underestimated. He's knightly.
patient
He's
and he's
knightly.
leading her along, and she's growing up with him. I love it.
Yeah. And he is,
Wow, he was a
they
day.
have underestimated him
Oh, yeah, this was a day.
consistently. This was a horrible shoot this afternoon. We had the freeways, we had access to the freeways with a camera truck for about 2 hours. And we had to get this entire
And it
fight
was,
scene
but it was
done.
hot. It was hot. You know, obviously we're being dragged along on this car on a, what are they called?
I don't know, some kind of camera rig,
Low
car
loader,
rig.
something, you know, and so Robin and the rest of the crew and the producers and so on sitting in front behind this camera watching us, and we're sitting in that car, as you can actually see, I think, slightly perspiring because it was boiling. So when we're mic'd up, we could communicate with each other. Halfway through one of the takes, I think I made some comment along the lines of, "Boy, I could murder a cold beer." And we pulled in, and lo and behold, Robin went and bought us a cold beer.
That's right.
It was
We had to pull into the parking lot to deal with some technical problem. It was the
Yeah.
parking lot of a hotel. And so I got the actors to go inside with me, and I bought beers for them, which is you're not allowed to do. Maybe
That's so
That's a
nice. That day I
supportive
was like, boy, I
director.
could use a line of Coke. She brought me that too. And I was just, well, I didn't know she did that to the other cast as well. That's nice. That's really
now,
sweet.
the building where these library dinners took place, we actually filmed about 12 different scenes within this one building, including the courthouse and Jimmy's office and a dream sequence that we never used.
and the
library
editor's
dinners.
office, which we didn't use.
Oh, that's right, the dream sequence.
We
Yeah.
did so much these with
Is
the
the
time
dream
that we were
sequence
here.
going to be on the DVD extras? I've never seen it.
No, I think we looked at it and I don't remember.
It was
I think we said no.
distracting.
No, it just didn't. You know, it was something
Move
I
the
was trying to
story forward.
accomplish out of the book, being faithful to the book, but we didn't end up needing it.
We needed the time for Mark Lucas's Tim Duncan tirade.
Yeah, exactly. So this scene is another 3-camera day here, and we had dolly tracks in a circle around the table that they'll sit down to, and you can see that dolly track set up and a photograph that happens over the end credits. It was just a beautiful way to work.
I think that was the day I came to set and whispered in your ear, please, please, please just get me some close-ups so I can cut away if I need to. The 3 cameras that are tied together.
Well,
we had this intersection for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, we did literally have this for 10 minutes, and this car did actually break down constantly.
Yeah.
And it was nasty inside that car, too.
This always gets a laugh in the theater. Did she hit you?
Like
Such a
that's-
strange place to go.
I know.
We've been talking about how the scenes turn and the character arcs turn. What's great about the library dinner, the first library dinner, is it's where Allegra and Prudy start to have a really lovely relationship, where their relationship turns.
Well, yeah, because it's the scene where Prudy finally comes out as the crazy person she is. And
Well, as the broken-hearted child, which I think, given
Right.
Allegra's broken-hearted state, her compassion was finally available to her.
And I got the one F word in the movie.
You did. Yeah, originally we had to fight for a PG-13 rating because of that word. Okay, this scene, we're going to let you talk about this scene. We shot this. This is the second time we shot this scene, because the first time we shot it, we were able to have traffic control for 3 hours to shoot this long, complicated, you know, in terms of camera, very complicated and emotional scene. And we had focus problems, we had sound problems.
We were shooting it outside 2 bail bond offices, I remember.
That's right. And it was a great looking location, but it was hellacious on the actors.
At the end of a very difficult day.
Where is that?
Exactly. That was in Long Beach. That one
But
that
actually
that
then
you're
this
not
day,
seeing.
so we come back to shoot it again a second time round, and it looks great, I've got to say. But meanwhile, at the end of the street, there's a train track. We're right by the airport, or at least the planes are going overhead. And just at about this point in the scene, it started pouring with rain.
Right.
So what you can't see is that the crew are gamely holding an enormous screen over our heads, just catching great bucket loads of water.
You can see in the background. You can see in the background, but honestly,
Yeah.
there was it was a monsoon that day. It was the one of only 2 days of rain LA had that year, and water was running in a flash flood over the dolly tracks. And in fact, our UPM was running around the street laughing hilariously, going, "Flash flood, flash flood."
Everyone's like, yeah, kind of are.
See, this is what you get with that circular track. You get this nice drifting
But we did. I seem to remember we
movement.
shot that. We took that particular shot kind of towards the end, right? Once we got close-ups.
That's right, we got
whatever it
close-ups
was, it was up
first.
against time. We were up against time, and they really didn't have time to take many focus measurements. They were just going by the skin of their teeth. It was really impressive. Really amazing
Yes.
camera work.
That's right. Those 3 camera operators for this particular scene really earned their keep.
Or Charlotte is gay in Austen.
For me, the fact that the camera's slightly drifting all the time, it helps include everyone at the table.
That's
And
right.
also include this bigger venue you're at.
That's right. You have the feeling that these people are being observed by guests, other guests who are at this party. Same
Right, and
party.
also without jumping back to a big wide shot, you feel like they're all talking to everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Shooting a bunch of people sitting at a table is one of the hardest things you can do.
It's
And
very
keep it
true.
interesting.
It's true.
And it's hard on
But-
the actors too, because usually without the circular track, it's like you have to point in 4 or 5 different directions. So you're doing the same scene all day, on camera, off camera, switching it around.
Right, but
Right, and you have to know when the camera's on you. You have to, as
That's
an
right.
actor, you have to
But
be
in
aware
this
of that.
case, we just ran the scene from the top to the bottom. I mean, when Emily had to do her big emotional breakdown, we let her know these are really your close-ups. But most of the time, people were never quite certain whether they were going to be on camera or not. They just had to stay in performance.
You'll notice that Jane, she never shows what happens after the wedding.
I love watching Mark in this scene too, because you see his embarrassment, his love, his commitment, and his embarrassment.
It's funny because when she's doing this monologue, it was so hard to choose who to see because Maggie's having her, or Allegra's having her own mother thing going on. Sylvia has her reaction. Greg is worried about the father, his own thing. Every character's bringing their own thing to it.
That's right. And Bernadette feels some responsibility for Prudy. She's brought her in. She's kind of reparenting her. She's sort of the non-marijuana addicted version of her mother, kind of a free spirit.
And Greg's just trying to get everybody onto a different topic.
Let's not do this.
And now Allegra's connecting. Now Prudy's her friend.
I just remember we were so not on task for this because we all kept going into the bathroom and I
Well,
forget what we were doing.
everybody was so badly behaved on this day of shooting. I want to say this was the day when the inmates took over the asylum.
Emily had some. I forget what Emily was doing, but it was so funny.
No, we had a lot of fun around the edges on this day.
I wanted to read my palm.
Yes.
Read it.
And we also had to shoot, remember we had to shoot a lot of Sylvia reading her book at work that day too. We had to move bookcases around and shoot that. I love watching Sylvia here, Amy Brenneman here.
Amy Brenneman can do any given scene 25 different interesting ways.
It's true. In this one, though, you see the opening. There's an opening for Daniel here. Now, this was what they call a funny process, poor man's process, in which, of course, they're not riding in a car in the rain. They're sitting in a car that is being moved very gently by stagehand, who are making it seem as though the car is in motion. The camera's moving very slightly to give you that sense. And in the background, there is a black sheet of paper that they have punctured with pinholes and put light behind it, and they're moving it on a crank so that it looks as though background is passing by. And the scene had to happen within the amount of time that it took that crank, that whole diorama to pass by. And then it would stop moving and it would no longer look like they were in a moving car. So they had to get it all out in perfect timing and still play an emotional scene.
How much do I look like my mom and vice versa?
You do look like your mom, and you both have the habit of playing with your hair while you read, which I don't know. Did you plan that?
No.
Isn't that cool?
Here we go. This is the first makeup I saw. It was Kevin Zeger's there.
Kevin. You said, does he have on a lot of rouge?
That's a really interesting choice.
And then up comes the PA. Hugh, we're ready for you in makeup.
I mean, I know he's meant to be the young guy, but come on.
No, he was game for it. He was game
He
to
w-
look silly. I love all the kilts.
The thing, he probably didn't think he looked silly. He was probably game for it because he's like, damn, I look good.
All right, you know what? He's going to hear this DVD. He's going to call you out, Maggie. Yeah, you know, in Austen, they're always passing the little letters and the little notes. That's why I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that moment. It's very Austenian. Okay, this was a great place to shoot. And this kid that's in the blue here,
Oh, he was so good.
he was actually not a child actor.
He
He
was so
actually
good.
was the #1 ranked climber in his age group for the state of California. And he had to act like he was
Wow, he's
afraid
really
of
good
this.
then.
He's really good. But of course, we got him because we knew that we could get him far off the ground. But as soon as we got there, the child services people came over and said, you can't get him more than 10 feet off the ground.
Oh, regardless
Even
of
though
his
he's the
ability.
top
Even though he was the
climber
top
in
guy.
state,
And so
yeah.
we had to like crank the cameras at an angle to cheat and make it look like he was far off the ground.
I'm sorry, I have to stop you here. It's not likely to be anything more than a concussion. I like to keep Allegra under observation for a few days, okay?
Dr. Yep.
Yes, the future Mrs. Allegra.
Yeah. Future Ms. Avila.
Future Mrs. Avila.
Dr. Yep.
Yeah, I love this scene. This is one where we did a lot of improvs to just see how far to take her realization that he's asking to be let back in.
You did that on the day that you shot it, did you?
Yeah.
I improv the whole scene.
Oh, yeah.
Really.
And you steal it.
Yeah. The only funny thing for Maggie in this scene was that the bandage in her head, she would move her head very slightly and the bandage would ride up. And so if you're watching the bandage, you'll actually see it in different places in the scene. But I hope you're not watching the bandage.
You're watching the bandage,
I
then
hope
we've
you're
just
watching
failed.
these
We've
two
failed.
amazing actors.
Great scene.
And I love where the composer chose to let the music stop. Right there. Now it's awkward.
You know, I haven't been seeing Pam for a couple of months now.
So, that must be a big change. I just love the dialogue in
I
this
love
scene.
the ambiguity of that must be a big change for you.
Exactly. She's trying not to be unkind.
How's that working out for you?
The first meeting was, yeah.
See how natural she is.
Because Allegra had just moved in. And I was realizing...
Jimmy's so good at listening on camera.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm the same woman that you left.
I can see that. I so see that.
Well, it's probably the same for you. I guess that's what happens when you let go.
And he wins a lot of respect back by the fact that you see him. He's aware of what he's done, and although he clearly at this stage is beginning to want her back, he's also recognizing he's prepared to live with his mistake.
That's right. He knows he doesn't have the right to ask her
That's
that.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful performance. I love this moment too.
I do too.
It's just a throwaway, but
Yeah.
Jimmy has seen him.
Double take.
Yeah. Wait a minute. That's
It's
that
just
guy.
a moment of panic.
There's the scarf that Bernadette was knitting, and it's around Maggie Grace's neck.
Thank you,
because
Robin's mom.
Mrs. Swipewood.
Yeah, Mrs. Swikeward, knit her to the stars.
This is a great scene. This is just, it's beautifully played, beautifully directed, beautifully edited. I still laugh every time I see it.
Again, 3 cameras. You know, we did the wide shot at the end after we'd been running the scene for individual, coverage from the top. We had lighting challenges of mixing 2 kinds of light, fluorescent with tungsten.
Playing the most, you find out they're not as nice as they like to think they are.
The audiences really revel. Every time we've seen this with an audience, they revel in the scene because by now they really know these people. And so the depth of investment in how they respond to each other is really a lot of fun.
All right, I want to say that Hugh had to eat 13.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
He had to eat 13 Krispy Kremes. No one else, you'll notice, ever
13.
ate a donut because they didn't
first
want to
take,
have
he
to
took a bite.
eat
We were
so
like,
many.
"Are you really going to do that?
Are you
committing to the
crazy?
Krispy Kreme
Hugh, was
of
that
it
your
all?"
first experience with the Krispy Kreme donut?
It wasn't my first experience. I know I went in eagerly, and I've got to say I don't think I actually ever regretted it.
Well, we know they're good.
That's strong with spandex on. That's a strong play right there. I respect that move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you read Austen's novels.
Oh, I have.
You wanted me to, and I did.
I think you'll see she
Zing.
always writes in favor of order and self-control, nothing unwise.
Nothing in haste.
Okay, so this is what, this is a rule book?
We could do worse.
I think Jane Austen wrote about women falling in love because she was lonely.
Burn, burn.
What I like about the way Marianne cut this scene is that she understood that the looks that people were giving, the little reactions, were easily as important as lines that were actually being said.
And this is really one of those scenes I feel like it's enjoyable regardless, but if you do know Austen's work, there's more of a payoff in the scene because you realize how obscure this character that they're speaking
Mrs.
about
Dashwood
really
is
is.
mentioned like twice in the book.
Maybe twice. and sort of like her reaction to what's going on with Marianne. Like she really is a minor character.
I just like that Marianne marries Colonel Brandon. For me,
because that becomes her
that's
name,
my
Marianne Brandon.
Yeah, but
I thought that the moment I met you. I was like, I wonder if she knows what her name means to me.
I did.
Oh, I love this moment.
I think this book club scene is so fantastic also because you realize when they get together for the book clubs, how they zero in on what they want to talk about. And that's what it's about. It's like,
It's not about the book.
It's not about the book. Grigg wants to get under Jocelyn's skin and get her back.
Yep. Sylvia's thinking, I could have an affair. I could do that.
What's wrong with that? And Emily,
It's a long hot summer.
Yeah, Prudy's thinking about her young
God. This
boy.
is actually Mark Lucas's very own car, and actually he does occasionally, wash it himself.
Occasionally?
When he's not having his minions do it, or his agent.
Right, that happens all the time.
That's not the most interesting of Mark's cars,
You'll see the T-shirt that he brought in, his own shirt. People laugh at this little girl, but I'll tell you why she's there. She's there because there's always an observer in Austen's novel, and I think it's the eye of the author herself, who is watching people do bad behavior. There's a
That's Jane
secret
Austen.
judgment. That's the secret judgment of the book itself toward the person involved in bad behavior.
Kathy, another classic.
Kathy, love the jacket.
And another step in the ongoing saga of how many layers Maria can wear.
Which
For
we
you to
find
take
out.
off.
Yeah.
Right, first
we
of all,
find out
this is
later,
supposed to be
layer by
July.
layer.
It was supposed to be July. We were shooting this, I think, in
November.
Early December or
All
late
the actors
November.
got into their bikinis and then stepped outside their trailers and retreated.
I love that it's overcast because that is so.
Well, that is
Austin-esque.
English.
Moody.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
How
also-
English.
It's also Northern California in the summer. You think you're going to go to the beach and it's going to be warm, and then, by the way,
The clouds
misty,
are there, and
yeah.
yeah.
But it is a very English beach day, I think.
I think we lucked out with this.
We did
weather.
luck
Me,
out with
I
this
say that
day.
from the comfort of the very nice cutting room.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were.
I wasn't there.
You were
Notice
spared
we're all in
so
Uggs
much.
and really long sweaters.
Yeah.
Is that Kevin?
This is
On the
Kevin's
motorcycle?
stand-in because we couldn't actually put Kevin on a motorcycle. Then we could use Kevin here getting off the bike.
Putting
from then
actors on motorcycles is a bad idea, and I have scars to prove it.
Yeah.
Well,
See.
and the insurance company frowns upon it as
Right.
well.
This is the scene where I look at Emily's face and I just fall deep into it. There's so much going on with her in this scene.
And can I just say I've downloaded this song and played it over and over and over for the last 3 days.
It's a
Can I just
great
say
song.
we tried to find a replacement for the song for 8 months and couldn't. So
That's
it is
right.
the perfect song.
I remember
Marianne
the first
Brandon.
rough cut when I came to your office. I was like,
Right.
"Oh my God, Marianne, do you get to keep the song?"
Right. Well,
And
we
we did-
thought we couldn't afford it, and
Amy Mann did us an enormous favor.
Thanks, Amy
So
Mann.
this great prop, this was just a prop. That the prop men had to make these different lenses that would go into it. They would spell those things out, and we shot it so many times trying to make it look real.
so we finally gave it to the visual effects house to stabilize, and they fixed
helped
it.
us.
It's
They helped
amazing.
us. I know. And that was another big favor. There were a lot of favors that happened for us on
So,
this film.
Hugh, what's the story with the sunglasses in this scene?
It was
You know, actually, I just turned up that morning in sunglasses and figured I'd keep them on because I didn't know what to do in the scene.
It's very aloof. It's very aloof.
No,
It's
can I
nice.
just
No,
tell
there
you
was
that
a
it
point
was
to it.
It's very funny. It makes it funnier.
The thing is, and I'm going to say this and embarrass Hugh, you see everything in Hugh's eyes. And if he had to be more mysterious in this scene, so we didn't know what his feelings for Jocelyn still were, and what the point of bringing the sister in was, and so forth. And had he not had the glasses on, he would have been giving everything away. So it was the best move, and I didn't know that. That was something Hugh walked in with, saying, "I think I'd better wear sunglasses."
Because he is just coming up as the best Hugh Dancy moment look in the film.
I concur.
I love this moment.
Just here.
I love
just
this
here.
moment, and if we'd had too much information,
That one right there.
It's like, whatever. I'm moving on.
And 90% funnier with sunglasses on.
Okay, this is another favorite moment. It's like, this is her dating. My husband said, this is apparently Allegra's dating technique. She injures herself, and then the person who rescues her, she falls in love with.
Wow, a therapist could have a field day with that.
Yeah.
So it's the same way werewolves claim their victims.
Cyanic complex.
Do you see her
Allegra.
T-shirt says Yale? I was on the phone minutes before this with the people at Yale begging permission to let us show that. And the killer point, I said, if you don't let us use it, I'm going to have to put a USC T-shirt on there.
Oh.
And they said,
That's
okay.
great.
I think their medical schools are competitive.
I love that.
Were you on the phone to the Pittsburgh Pirates as well?
Yeah, she was saying, oh my God, we're going to have to put the Raiders on.
That was the day when I looked up for my book, and the entire cast was in the same tent, also with their books, and it was kind
Everybody
of lovely.
was reading that day on the
Yeah.
beach, yeah. I love this scene. This is one of my favorite scenes with Mark, and I remember him coming into the audition room to do this scene, and he was so moving, even in the audition room.
Oh, good job, Mark Blucas.
I just walk around being me. I don't pretend to be anything else.
Deb, our casting director, ran down the street after the audition to find Mark and tell him he had the part, because he walked out of the room and Robin and Emily and Deb and I all looked at each other and Jen and we're just like, well, that's it, right?
Right, and Emily just did a little heart shape in the air with her fingers, like
What?
that's
And
the
Deb
guy.
Aquila ran down the street to stop you.
Deb and Robin.
We ran because Mark had taken the elevator. We ran down the stairs, 8 flights, to meet him on the street.
No.
And say,
That's every
"You-"
actor's dream moment.
Dream. Well, until you see them running, because you don't know if they're going to say, "Hey, you forgot your keys." Like it could be bad, you know. But no, best moment for me in this town.
No, this is so. Look at him here.
Who, for his own amusement, never took up any book but the
Come on, you're really not going to read all of this out loud. One page.
He loves her. That's that moment.
Well, she goes so raw with him too. I mean, you know.
I know.
You kind of get a sense of what he's gone through.
Yeah, every day with,
Yeah.
with this wife that really needs to be reparented.
And the terror that she's going to turn into her mother.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's met Mama's guy.
And that relationship, I mean, it's amazing. Depending on how it was cast, it really could have gone so many ways.
Yeah, that's right. We were very lucky. I hate to
Another
say that
great,
in front of Mark.
another great Jimmy Smits moment coming up here towards the end of this scene.
Yeah.
So, no,
I
great.
know.
Was
And the
it-
DP was saying to me, "Can we just get rid of this stupid umbrella?" You know, you're like, no, we can't.
It's Austen-esque, gosh darn it.
I know. We had so many reasons for wanting it, and
It's
he
a
was
parasol.
like, "It's getting in the way of the coverage." But that's why we have Jimmy in 2-shot only.
Yeah, what coverage? There
was no
coverage.
because we had no angle to come at because of the parasol.
I just
We had
appreciate
that,
you
and we
guys
have a
giving that
2-shot.
parasol back to me after you guys were done using it. Thank you.
Nancy Travis was a gift to this. She definitely, there was a family resemblance there to Hugh Dancy, and what an accomplished actor to come do just this one little afternoon of work.
And this way, it's up to you. My sisters and me, I wouldn't say we ruined him, but he's just way too considerate to make
What does that mean? Ruin me? It's like
They ruined you by
castrated
turning
me.
into such a nice man, is what
I
she's
see, I
saying.
see.
She's making a joke, I hope.
Sausages in there again, you?
Now the dog remembers.
No cheese, actually, in my hand.
Yeah. Oh.
She was safely down and instantly, to show her enjoyment, ran up the steps to be jumped down again.
The only time in my life I never prepared the night before work. I didn't want those words to.
The only time?
The only time. Yes, that's very true. Unlike Hugh,
But
Hugh,
Hugh, he doesn't work
yeah,
that much, so.
He's concerned only with the makeup, and that was just dirty. That was just. I'm turning my back on everyone in this room.
Look, you were the one yelling, "Don't we need to do that again?" So
wrap your tongue around.
That was
words like
Emily.
precipitate. Precipitate.
And Blunt was like,
So-
"Can we get
This
another
was
take
the
of the
first
kissing?"
thing I shot on this movie.
I know, and Samantha, was so excited. And she had brought her
Gwendolyn.
camera, and she wanted
And
to.
her leopard skin bra, apparently.
Yeah.
It's all about bras on this.
She's a friend of mine now, actually. She comes to girls' night.
Oh, really? Is that a friend with quotes? Like,
I love this moment when you
She's
realize
a
that he's
mutual
gotten
friend
hooked.
of some of my girlfriends.
He's gotten hooked. I also love that that Daniel composes his letter on the computer first.
That's right. He wants,
I liked that
He
too.
wants to make sure he says exactly the right thing
Mhm.
before he writes
Well,
it
he's a
all out.
lawyer.
That's right. Clause 1, subsection B.
I love you.
Yeah. My husband seeing this said, this is the autobiographical moment where I get up in the middle of the night to go get the second book and begin reading at 2:21 in the
I
morning.
recognize that.
Yeah.
Even with the yawning, even with the desperate
You're-
trying to keep your eyes open.
You know you're going to finish. You're not going
Mhm.
to go to sleep before finishing.
And I love that Feist made the soundtrack too. I love her.
Oh, we lucked
Love that
out with
soundtrack.
this Feist song, and she's another wonderful performer who did us a favor and let us have a good deal on the song. We wanted the song so
So it really goes
much.
straight to them, does it? I mean, does it always, or did you have to find ways to get through to these individuals?
Oh
and
no,
say-
we had a
We
Like
had,
you did with
we
Linda
had
Redgrave. Did you write them
really, we
letters?
had a good music supervisor, and then we had the additional help of Leah Volek, who does music for all of Sony, and she has great relationships with everybody. And we call her Wonder Woman. She looks like Wonder Woman, and she is Wonder
does.
Woman.
Look at Amy's, speaking of relationships, look at Amy's relationship with this phone.
I
right
know.
here.
You know, the phone was Jimmy. She just completely did that personification thing the technique of.
And this song is so amazing how it works for both moments, the sort of apology of it all and then also the coming together.
Right.
Like it
And it
kind of
admits
goes into
everyone's
that as well. It's
imperfection.
really
and
nice.
that's all of Austen's books are about people being imperfect, facing themselves, and then putting their lives together anyway.
Here's our big action sequence coming up.
I read these books. I love them. I couldn't stop reading. I went to the all-night newsstand on stage.
We had a whole thing planned for this scene that would
Mm.
happen during the kiss, in which people would come out of doors and school buses would arrive and school
Kind of
children
sped
would
up,
get on
wasn't
them,
it?
and everything was all sped up. And when we saw the mock-up of that the special effects people had done, it was so distracting, and it took away so much from the emotion of the moment that we kept only one thing, that single detail that would happen in real life, which was as you're kissing at dawn, there's somebody whose job it is to deliver the newspapers.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sort of the world's frozen around them.
Yeah.
I love how she's on her tiptoes. I love that.
and that is a matte painting in the background that the people at Sony Imageworks did to make it look like the Sacramento River
Look,
Valley.
the only reason Amy Brenneman did this movie.
Right here.
Right
Captured
there.
on screen.
She
Yeah.
said,
Amy Brenneman.
I'm opposite Jimmy. Do I get to kiss him?
And now we see Emily's reason.
Yeah.
How many times do you have to do that?
And now we see
Yeah.
how many layers
How
Maria
much
Bello
they're
wore.
actually wearing. I love that moment right
I did
there.
too.
Mm.
The Velcro.
I know. There was a lot of kissing that day. That was a good day. In fact, Hugh,
It was a good day.
will it embarrass you if I say that he said, this is my
Probably.
idea of a good day at work. You go to work, you drink a little wine, because I think there was wine that day. You kiss a lot. He said, so that's why people become actors.
No, I did not.
He's denying
He
it
did.
now. He's denying it.
Implausible deniability.
This was a scene that on the DVD, Allegra tells a story, which is sort of her revenge story against Corinne. And in the editing room, we realized that it was misplaced, that everything about this scene had to be about coming together and making community, and that we didn't care about anybody outside the circle. So we had to cut it and just go right into this part.
It's always good to know when to end.
Yep. It's the stuff you don't know always as a writer. You can't know it on the set. You find it out in the editing room.
What a transformation for Bernadette in this scene, too, with her
I know.
outfit and her hair.
I think that she's a character who has a new look every decade, and I think we're seeing her embark upon a kind of new Bernadette here.
It's a new look every husband, I think, is what you mean.
Makes sense.
I think if she's on husband number 7, we
That
have
was-
to acknowledge there's more than one a decade.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. That was a little ad lib from Mark Lucas. We'll get you a drink, Mr. Darcy.
Oh.
I think it was just a moment to show that in that year Dean had, I mean, we saw
That
it in
he
the
had read
bed,
other
but it
books.
was
Who
just it was more
Darcy
than just that
is.
night or that moment.
Yeah.
He looks horrified.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to read your
Oh my
jacket.
God! Look at all
I've
these
married
friends.
6
We're all
lunatics.
weird friends.
This
These
is
are-
this is great, Robin.
Yeah, these are some of my set photographs. I was
Such a nice
There's the
idea.
circular
in love
track.
with my crew.
Yeah.
To
Right,
tell you the
right.
truth. There it is.
A lot of people have commented to me how much they love the end credits and how much fun it is, even though you don't really read the names because you're looking at the picture.
Yeah,
No,
this is
people
John
do read the
Portnoy.
name.
John
Most
Portnoy, our post
flattering picture
supervisor,
of me
came
ever
up with
put
this
together,
kind
right.
of format.
No, he,
Right, normally, when
well,
somebody
what-
says of your movie, "I love the end credits," you got a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Or not. It means
Or not,
they
but- or
sat
not.
for them, which is always good.
That is true.
Well, in the editing room, I was just trying to think, is there any possible way I can finally thank the people that made this
Right.
movie?
I just wanted to say my whole approach to cutting this film was like The Fast and the Furious with words.
It's true. It moved right along.
There's our last day of shooting right there.
There it is. It's weird how nostalgic we feel about this.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Well, it was a year ago now.
I
It's
know.
a year.
I know.
Oh, who are the hippies?
Hippies?
Those
hippies?
were actually
Hare
Hare
Krishnas.
Krishnas for hire. Those are real Hare
Are they-
Krishnas.
Hare Krishnas for hire?
Do you get that on the internet
This
as
is from
well?
rehearsal
If I
right
ever
there.
start a rock and roll band, I should call it Harry Krishnas for Hire.
There's a lot of good rock band names in the Jane Austen book club.
Oh, that's a great one.
There's
I know.
Messy.
Yeah, here we were on that day. The one day we had Messy Stench on her crew.
Messy stench. Wow.
And this is a separate little crew that we had to throw together to do just the montage pickup days. A lot of the same people came back from,
Oh, I
from
love
Grips
this.
and Gaffers.
We're all reading
yeah.
our books on a picnic
Yeah, this is a
blanket.
candid shot of everybody reading between,
And we
waiting
all
for the light to
exchanged
change.
books. Like I got some great books from this movie.
This is Diana Napper who found the book and brought it to John Calley. She lives in London. And this is at the Bastyr Clinic in Seattle. They have a beautiful church there. It used to be a seminary, and it has great acoustics. We recorded our soundtrack there. Marianne Brandon, film editor, sometimes stands there holding a sign.
Yeah, I have. I'm a girl who can do a lot of different jobs.
She's so into Austen. She's named after an Austen character.
That was the
A
sweatshirt
shirt
I
that
wore.
Robin wore a lot of the time.
So
Very
thank you.
graciously.
Because people, that was me peering through the little monitor.
She had another one that said imperfect.
Imperfect, thank you.
Now,
And
when have you ever heard
What's
a
for my
director admit
partial
that?
complete attention?
yes, you have my you have my
Continuous
continuous partial.
We should probably sign off,
continuous
guys.
partial attention.
Oh.
Shouldn't we say goodbye?
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hot. He said, so that's why people become actors.
No, I did not.
He's denying it now. He's denying it.
Implausible deniability.
This was a scene that on the DVD, there's Allegra tells a story, which is sort of her revenge story against Corinne. And in the editing room, we realized that it was misplaced, that everything about this scene had to be about coming together and making community, and that we didn't care about anybody outside the circle. So we had to cut it and just go right into this part.
It's always good to know when to end.
Yep. It's the stuff you don't know always as a writer. Can't know it on the set. You find it out in the editing room.
What a transformation for Bernadette in this scene, too, with her
I know.
outfit and her hair.
I think that she's a character who has a new look every decade, and I think we're seeing her embark upon a kind of new Bernadette here.
It's a new look every husband, I think, is what you mean.
Makes sense.
I think if she's on husband number 7, we
That
have
was-
to acknowledge there's more than one a decade.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. That was a little ad lib from Mark Lucas. We'll get you a drink, Mr. Darcy.
Oh.